In some of his clearest comments to date about how a Labour government will cozy up to Brussels, Mr. Lammy declared change begins now. New Foreign Secretary David Lammy has admitted he wants a new security pact with the EU as part of a reset relationship with Brussels. In some of his clearest comments to date about how a Labour government will cozy up to Brussels, Mr. Lammy declared change begins now. Mr. Lammy identified security, support for Ukraine and climate change, along with holidays and student exchanges, as areas where Britain can forge a closer relationship with the EU. The Foreign Secretary used his first trip abroad over the weekend as the UK's top diplomat to make clear to his counterparts in Germany, Poland and Sweden about the chance to seize the opportunity for a reset and work even more closely together to tackle shared challenges. He said, "It's time to reset our relationship with our European neighbours. We find ourselves in a volatile world, with war returning to Europe for the first time in a generation. Delivering security requires us to work together more closely. And that's why I have travelled to Germany, Poland and Sweden this weekend. These countries are among Europe's biggest supporters of Ukraine. They are long-standing friends of the UK. I want to strengthen our relationships and work with them towards a new UK-EU security pact. The best way to guard ourselves against the threats we face is through better cooperation with our friends and allies." Change begins now. Mr. Lammy has also spoken to EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell, and the pair agreed to meet at the earliest convenience. The Foreign Secretary could attend the September meeting of the EU Foreign Affairs Council despite the UK no longer being a member of the bloc. Mr. Borrell said the pair had a good call and discussed EU-UK cooperation in foreign and security policy, the latest developments in the Middle East and support for Ukraine. Mr. Lammy reiterated Starmer's pledge not to rejoin the EU single market after British voters in 2016 voted to break from the political and economic union. "Let us put the Brexit years behind us," Lammy told The Observer. "We are not going to rejoin the single market and the customs union, but there is much that we can do together." Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds said Sunday on Sky News that the UK should look for ways to improve trade with the EU and that removing some trade barriers was sensible. But he said the Labour government was not open to the free movement of people that was required as a member of the union. Irish Premier Simon Harris said there was a willingness in the EU to talk to the new UK government. The Taoiseach told Sky News, "I do absolutely think there would be a fair hearing for any proposal that the British government or indeed that the EU has about ironing out practical issues in terms of having a relationship that works. Brexit has happened, the people of Britain have made that decision. But absolutely, is there space to have a veterinary agreement? Is there space in terms of student mobility? Is there space to work closer together on issues? I think there absolutely is."